Everybody wastes time. We know it. You know it. Students do it. Teachers do it. Parents do it. Everybody wastes time. The key to your class success is making the most of your time. So let's learn how we can do that. You got it. You got to prepare for success using your time wisely. So how do you do that? You manage your time. Obviously, you manage it. You got to create a time log. You got to show yourself how much time you're spending throughout the day. And then you plan for things. You plan for interruptions. You schedule free time. You track your activities to find out how much time they take, how much adjustments you must make to fit in going out for pizza. You got to make a to-do list, and you got to track it. If you don't track it, you don't know what's going on. How do you do that? So you do it with phone apps, you do it with planners, you do it with sticky notes, anything and everything. You got to use a schedule maker. You got to use organizers. There's so many ways to do it. You have to figure out your best way. Well, when we talk about education and time management, we're really talking about managing your educational planning, planning for your education. So this is going to be a tool that helps you there. I'm going to show you over the next couple slides some techniques and some choices that you will make in your educational planning. So here it is. We're going to show you an educational planning time management sheet. So there's a lot of considerations here. We got work, we got family obligations, social activities, daily activities, community service. Yes, okay, community service. Some of you are into that. And then we have sleep. So let's underscore maybe sleep, because some of you are sleeping a lot more than you should. Maybe you have a little bit more social activity than you should. If you don't adjust things and make a perfect balance for your educational needs, then something's going to suffer. It's going to be your education and what your goal is in being in college. Strengths and weaknesses. Let's talk about strengths and weaknesses. You have to figure out what your strengths are and what your weaknesses are. You capitalize on your strengths and you strengthen your weaknesses. So if we were to talk about, let's say, student A, maybe the student is organized. That's one of their strengths. Maybe they're very determined and won't give up. That's another strength. But they know that they can procrastinate, and they're a little bit lazy. Procrastination and laziness, they go together. There's a lot of it out there. You have to understand it's a weakness you must overcome in order to do well in college. Now this section shows the amount of hours per week you might be working and appropriate number of classes you might be taking. So if you're taking 4 classes, I wouldn't be working 40 hours a week. See this? If you're working 1 to 20 hours a week, you might have time for 4 classes. But if you're working a 30 to 40 hour a week schedule, that might be way too much to take 4 classes. You have to understand that there is a correlation. There is a connection between the amount of time and effort you put into work and the amount of time and effort you put into your class. So working 40 hours and taking 4 classes, if you're able to do it, great. But do you really want to kill yourself? You got to make that decision. Well, college is your job now, so you have to make the decision and prioritize, like we talked before. If you're working, which job is going to be your priority? If you're going to always give up schoolwork for your 9 to 5 job or your 9 to 2 job, then your schoolwork is going to suffer. So just understand that. It's a choice you make. So for 3 classes, you will be taking 3 credit hours. Multiply that together. That's 9 hours. Take that 9 hours, and let's say you're going to be using 2 hours per week for study time. Now you take that 18 and you add the 9 hours that you're going to be in class to the 18 that you're going to be studying, equals 27 total hours per week at a minimum that you're going to dedicate to your schoolwork. Treat college as work. Treat it as a job that pays you grades, and prepare for your own self to be your own strict boss. It's a must. You won't succeed if you don't. If you have another job, make a choice. 3 classes can easily take 27 hours a week. Some classes, they're going to take a lot more, and you'll know that. You'll be in it, and you'll know it takes more. Dedicate yourself. There are 168 hours in a week. I did the math, I promise you. It works out. You can do the math. You don't trust me. It's 168 hours in a week. Your life takes time too. Understand that everything you do takes time. Let's say you have 25 hours for work, 14 hours for family obligations, 8 hours for social, 5 hours for community service. Hopefully it's not court-ordered community service. 28 hours for your miscellaneous activities. 56 hours for sleep. That's 8 hours of sleep a night. Some are more, some are less. That total is 136. Add to that the 27 hours that you're going to dedicate to your school, and you came up with 163. Now in this scenario, we have 5 extra hours of personal time, whatever you want to do during that. But you see how everything adds up? You are now scheduling and planning your life according to what your activities are. If you're honest with yourself and you're honest with what you're creating as far as a class schedule, then you might be able to really prepare and do well. But if you just wing it, you're not going to succeed as much as you would if you plan for it. Priorities is a big theme in this particular chapter, and something we're going to be talking a lot about. One of the favorite items that I like to show, and other professors like to show, is this thing called Big Rocks, Little Rocks. It's all about priorities. So big rocks are the big things in your life, the decisions that you have to make that you prioritize. Family, work, school, succeeding that way. And the little rocks are the things that aren't nearly as big, meeting friends out for a drink, having a good time at a football game. And then there's even the smaller things of answering that phone call right away. Maybe you can put off till tomorrow. The little things. So let's take a look at a video, and we're going to show you some of the things and how this video talks about prioritizing. So what you place first in your life can mean all the difference, because balance, it's all about balance. We're going to determine what your priorities are for this college term. Let's take a look at this video. This video starts with putting the small things first. All the little things in your life. Answering those emails and those texts and those Facebook posts. Anything that is minor pings, minor tiny things in your life. You start your life and you put in those things first. That's your foundation. Next, we'll put in the medium things, the pebbles in our life. Things that are manageable, but they do have consequences if we don't do them. And then after we have a layer of the pebbles, we put in the large rocks, the big things. These are family. These are doing schoolwork, making sure that our job is taken care of. If you do it this way, then the big rocks take up too much space and we don't fit them in. Now let's do this again, and notice the big things in your life go in first. All the big items, your schoolwork, your family, your church, anything that has got a huge and big consequence, you want to put those in first. You've prioritized these. After everything is in, all your big items in, now you put in the medium pebbles. So let's go ahead and watch him. He's going to put in the medium pebbles, and these are the things that have minor consequences. Those fit right in there, don't they? Now, he fills in this same tube with all the little stuff, and it goes all around and fills it all up. This is how you need to work your life. Prioritize your big things first, your medium things second, and your little things third. A lot of people do it just the opposite. The little things take over their lives. And you'll notice that you can fit in everything you need to, and everything works out. When you prepare, when you prioritize, the result is often productivity. Make your list, rank them, check them off daily or weekly, and good things will follow. So calendars help organize your life. Find a calendar that you can be happy with. If it's a paper calendar, great. If it's an online calendar like Cozy or with Google, those are also very good as well. So you put all the important items in there, your assignments, your classwork. You schedule off your free time. And if you need to, you can share your calendar with fellow students, your family, whoever you think needs to see that calendar to keep your life in order. I want to talk about multitasking. There are studies out there that talk about it being an illusion, that it's not a possibility, that you don't truly multitask. I know everyone thinks that they can, but they can't do it effectively. They can't do two things at once. If they try, one of them suffers. So if you think you've got 4 arms, go ahead, give it a try, but you don't. Distractions are bad. Find yourself an effective way to do your studying. If it's in silence, it's great. If you just need some white noise in the background, that's great too. Find a place to get away and do your studying. A coffee shop, the library, your room, anywhere. But don't try and do 2 things or 3 things at once. We talked earlier about procrastination and how really everybody does it. I do it, you do it, we all do it. We need to find out how to combat it. We need to stop procrastinating to such a degree that it damages our work. So we need to break large tasks into small ones. We need to simplify them so that they're not as hard. We need to work with others. And just start. Just begin. If you can just start it, then you get the momentum and you can actually start getting work done. So here's some reasons that some students might procrastinate. They're looking for perfection. They fear their own limitations. They're unsure of the next step to take. And maybe they're facing an overwhelming task. Each one of those has a way of getting around it. You have to find your way of getting around that difficulty, that barrier. Just start it. Just begin. Take that first step and get your momentum going. Well, now, here we are back to balance. If you can balance your school, your work, and your family, you got it made. Organize your child care. Prioritize your spending time with family. Find some help from your family. Find the best child care. Anything and everything that you can do to find balance that allows you to be successful. That's your task for now. Go out, do it, and succeed.